With all this news circling around about the Minnesota Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins, man, this has been a lot going on. I seen somebody post something about should the Vikings be concerned about what Kirk Cousins' decision is going to be come March, and it's like, concerned about what? First of all, what are we concerned about? There's nothing to be concerned about. I'm gonna tell you what's concerning if you want to take it that way. If you are a fan of bringing Kirk Cousins back, which is perfectly fine, I'm gonna keep saying that if you want to bring him back to this football team. But our boy Paul Allen, man. Shout out Paul Allen, man. You know what I'm saying? The legend himself, man. Play-by-play broadcaster, man. The famous voice of the football world. You hear me? Like, shout out to him, man, especially giving nephew a chance to be on K-Fan with him, man. Paul Allen, to me, got much respect for him. And, if I had to guess, right, he put out something, and I'm going to tell you right now, to me, Paul Allen, being that he's inside the building, like he's always around people that are inside the building, he's inside the building himself, travels with the team. I don't think that he would put something out knowing that the fan base is going to take it and run. You hear me? So this is my thing, man. What he said, I'm going to tell you, it means a lot. It means a lot because the thing is this, man, you hear like from him and Doogie, like those guys that are in the building, they hear chatter, rumors, little thing. I'm just going to say there is some fire behind that smoke wall. I'm going to tell you, that's how I feel. But let's talk about what Paul Allen actually said, okay? He said, how hard can the Vikings preach analytics if you ship all in on a 36-year-old quarterback coming off a busted Achilles? All right, now let's talk about that. First of all, we got a 36-year-old quarterback. Busted his Achilles. Some people say he's going to be ready. He did an interview saying he's going to be ready. Hopefully OTAs will be ready to ball out week 1. I highly doubt that, but I could be wrong. There's a lot of stuff going on. I know he actually went and did some extra stem cell treatment too. So he's definitely trying to get there. So I give him that, all right? He's trying to get to the point where he can play for the Minnesota Vikings or whatever team he decides to go to if we don't come to a deal. But he's trying to play, all right, in September. That's just what it comes down to. But again, why would you put all of your money into that? Coming from a person that sits back and listens to what Kwesi says, the things that he thinks about as far as the future and making your team competitive, not only for right now, but for 2-3 years down the line, is that something that he would do? All right. And then Paul Allen went ahead and said, how hard can you preach new school, margin rules, or whatever? How hard can you preach new school? I look at that. When I think about that, I think about the type of quarterback Kirk Cousins is, and I've said this multiple times. All right, Kirk Cousins is a last of a dying breed. Let's just keep it real. Now, you do have modern day pocket passing quarterbacks, but they also have the ability to improvise. All right, Kirk Cousins, I know a lot of his fans, his stands, and don't take this the wrong way. I like Kirk Cousins, bro. I might not want him on my team. I think he's a good quarterback, but all the fans go back to the one run in Arizona 2 years ago. We gotta leave that alone. All right, we gotta leave that alone. Just like how they'll go back to 2019 to throw to Adam Thielen in a playoff game against the Saints. Man, listen, we're already 2-3 years removed from that. Like, we need to see more, okay? So find another play that you can, put behind your argument. Stop using that, okay? We know a quarterback can run every once in a while. I can go find a 20, 30-yard run from Tom Brady, I'm sure, and Peyton Manning, if I wanted to. I know there's one in there. And all them plays they played, I can find one, all right? But that's what I take out of that statement is, he's the last of a dying breed, man. Like, listen, Kirk Cousins would have been a great quarterback in the early 2000s because that is what the prototypical quarterback was. Stand in the pocket, dart it up. That's just how defenses were allowing quarterbacks to play really good. Now defenses have evolved. They're not allowing that anymore. You have to be able to move now. And coming off an Achilles injury, bruh, I don't know, man. That seems pretty tough, but again, and then he went on and said, in no way does that amount of cash for that age off that injury absolutely check all the boxes, analytically speaking, or what they're thinking. Okay. So analytically speaking, and I'm not an analytical type of guy, but I'm going to tell you, man, like the truth of the matter is this: Kirk Cousins puts up numbers. But when you think about the team in general, right? So if you just exclude Kirk Cousins and you think about where the Vikings are the Vikings really built right now to go to a Super Bowl? You bring him back for 2 years. Let's just say you sign him for 2 years. Do we believe that this roster is ready to win a Super Bowl in 2 years building around Kirk Cousins? To me, the answer is no. Okay, now I'm going to tell you what the answer would be. Yes, to me, would be getting a young quarterback, being able to go all in on your defense, beef up that defensive line, beef up the offensive line with a center, maybe add a couple more, weapons, of whether that's a wide receiver to replace KJ Osborne, maybe get another tight end 2 in there that turns out to be maybe a star in a year or two. That is how you do it. That is what we need to do. That is what other teams are doing. That is what the trend is. Follow the trend, Kwesi. Follow the trend. Trust your mind. Know that Kirk Cousins will give you 4,000 yards and throw for these touchdowns, and his stats will look great. All right, but what does it do to the rest of the team? How does it hold the rest of the team back? Rap on his analytical shit today, boy. You hear me? But, hey, man, shout out Paul Allen again, man. Paul Allen, much respect to you, man. I've always rocked with you, especially for what you did for my nephew, man. Got to show you love for that. But again, I like when I hear stuff like this, when I see stuff like this, because this absolutely means that there is fire where you see smoke. Let me know how you feel in the comments. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Holla at your boy.
Yeah. Smooth summer, who running? I hear them talking, but they ain't gon' do nothing. Celebration, I might have a toast with you. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling great, I'm terrific. We ain't taking no losses, we winning. Undefeated, check the percentage.